The Second Sex, Volume 1, Part 1, Chapter 2, Facts and Myths. One is not born a woman, but rather becomes a woman. Simone de Beauvoir. Welcome to Talking with. My name is Paula and I'm glad to have you here in this podcast. With me is Carla Swan. She's a representative member of feminism and Alec, a participant of male gender. This summer morning, I have the pleasure to talk about Simone de Beauvoir, her thoughts about femininity, feminism, and the woman in the masculine reality we live in. And no, my young readers, there is nothing sexual in the second sex. Although the author refers to sexuality, the title refers to the female gender, which was considered, and let me say it, still considered second-class sex. I hope that most of you have heard about Simone de Beauvoir. She's a significant person of the 20th century. For her, there is a distinct difference between the terms female and woman. Perceptions about gender are imposed on us by the society we live in.
Thanks for inviting me. And of course, let's talk about it. We have to identify ourselves as real individual beings from the inside, not from the perspective of society in which we live. Let's talk about oppression, right? The oppression of women is very different from other groups, and for example, slaves or workers. They were oppressed because of great historical events. Women were not. We have been never been a small group of social or cultural opposition because individuals with their own ideas. They have been never recognized, but have been associated or recognized for their links with men. Can you get it?
Good morning, my name is Alec, and in this morning I'm gonna talk about men's perspective about the feminism and our thoughts. And answering to Simone, although we have the privileged power that our circle runs, this power is actually flawed. When we are resting at home or walking the streets dedicated to work, has its cost for us.
Good morning, my name is Carla, and of course, Alec, but agree with Beauvoir, humanity, which is masculine, and man, consider woman not by herself, but concerning him. But was it out to determine what circumstance made it possible concerning this lack of symmetry? That is, why women determine and differ from men.
Okay, but the prevalent ideas vary markedly from the one society to another, from one era to another, and today from decade to decade. It's a subgroup based on race, class, sexual orientation, etc. Defines being a man according to the economic and social possibilities of the group in question. Carla.
Okay, but the opinions of individuals are produced socially and culturally. Femininity is not inherent. It is a construction that has been learned through socialization. Keep dominance by man's way.
Hmm? Paula, but the sex gender distinction suggests that there are characteristics, needs, and possibilities within human potential that are consciously and unconsciously suppressed, repressed, and analyzed in the process of producing men and, of course, women.
Alec, but society teaches women to fulfill a man's needs and therefore exist in relation to men and develop external cues in search of validation of their worth. Historically, we have had far fewer legal rights and therefore less public influence than you. Exactly. It's like in childhood when they gave us toys like dolls, for example. I had many Barbies, and the vast majority were housewives or they used to take care about everything. With these dolls, the girls learn to identify with the condition of being dressed pretty and arranged from the visitors in general. She learns how to objectify herself just like a man objective woman. The doll is submissive. Its function is to dress, listen to the secrets of his owner, and it's like console her when she sits alone and lie down at home when she is at school. It's like when men used to go to work and women stay at home cooking or doing housework.
Wait, what? So you were talking about Carla, you were talking about power with toys metaphors. You have power if you can take advantage of the difference between people. I feel that I can have power only if I can access more resources than you. And power is seen as power over something or someone else. And if you think you cannot deal with a relationship with a man, easy, don't get one, or maybe get one with another woman.
But Alec, this is the reality. Even if a woman does not marry, she is still subject to male standards. From external pressures such as the beauty, diet, and fashion industries.
I'm sorry, but in my opinion, the psychoanalytic recognition of the difference regarding the masculine and feminist behaviors, of which clearly both sexes are capable, is to make a myth of the psychoanalytic narrative and to rate the choice to the psychoanalytic determinism. Simon, you mean an example of this topic when you said that a girl climbing a tree is not emulating her father, nor does the exhibit virile behavior when she paints, writes, or engages in politics, right?
Alright, Paula, sublimation here provides an initial commentary on sexual energy and art making. For a psychoanalyst, sublimation is the replacement of acceptable and creative activities, such as making art with an impulsive and probably sexually inappropriate one. Women define themselves as human beings in search of values.
Okay, but the rise of feminism have altered the balance between power and pain for men. In society and times which male social power was very little questioned, it so exceeded pain that it's practically disguising completely. When men command, there is not much room for pain, less for the kind of pain that seems to be linked to the practice of masculinity. And before you say it, Carla, the existence of men's pain cannot serve as an excuse for acts of violence or oppression. Rather, the recognition of such pain is meant to better understand man and the complete nature of the dominant forms of masculinity.
Alec, I'm not gonna fight with you in this podcast, so in this context, let's try to get a solution. And how can we encourage men to understand that supporting feminism means more than supporting institutional and legal changes, which also means changes and they live in a personal way? How can we achieve massive and active support for feminism among men? How can we unite the struggles against homophobia and against sexism, and how can we make it understood in practice that homophobia is one of the main factors promoting misogyny and sexism about men?
In my personal opinion, I think it will be an anti-masculinity movement of men that maybe will go hand in hand with feminism, but that will have its own reason for being and clearly establish its issues and priorities, something like that. I mean, this is a fight that will never have an ending. This will be forever, I think.
And this episode comes to yours. Since neither the struggles nor the injustice have an end, I'm gonna say goodbye, but please, I'll be waiting for you early tomorrow morning for the second part of Talking To. But what's special in this time? Perspectives of feminism with another special participants. Thank you for listening.